damn sure wanna be. Working all day like a dog ain't working for me. I wish I had a rich uncle that'd kick the bucket and I was sitting on a pile like Warren Buffett. You know, everybody says money can't buy happiness, but it could buy me a boat. It could buy me a truck to pull it. It could buy me a Yeti 110 ice down with some silver bullets. Well, I know what they say, money can't buy everything. Well, maybe so. It could buy me a boat. Howdy do, everybody. Welcome to Dulcimerica. My name is Futch. Thank you for joining me. Yes. I'm going to show you how to chuck your dulcimer. And I know when you saw that title description, you probably thought, what in the world? But chucking is not what you might think it is. In this case, it's not throwing it out. Chucking is about throwing it in, putting a little groove into your playing. So the chuck basically is this. Super funky, right? Really groovy. It adds a nice little backbone to your beat, gets people kind of moving in their seats. And I'm going to show you right now the trick to making it happen. There are a couple different ways we can do that. So let's just do a basic strum. In 4/4 time, if you're just doing something like this. That's your basic 4/4 strum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm going to show you now is a way of being groovy without even going all the way and throwing the chuck into the picture. I'm going to have you do an accent on 2 and 4. An accent means we're going to play it a little bit louder. So instead of going 4 quarter notes like this, all even, 1, 2, 3, and 4, we're going to play 2 and 4 louder, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 and 4 are louder. This makes everything greater. Why? Let me give you an example here. Let's do Boil Them Cabbage. I'm going to play Boil Them Cabbage, straightforward, no accents. And now I'll play the same tune, Boil Them Cabbage, with accents on 2 and 4. That simply means I'm going to play beats 2 and 4 with more volume. And sometimes this even means playing beats 1 and 3 a little bit quieter. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Already that feels a lot more groovy. It feels like something that's got a distinct rhythm to it that makes you want to move your body. Funny thing is, if you reverse the accents and put them on 1 and 3 instead of 2 and 4, it changes the mood in a different direction. Check this out. Let me just do 4 quarter notes to start off with. Accents on 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, is that something you'd want to dance to, or is it something you'd march to? Definitely, that accent on 1 and 3 lends itself well to marching. Up, 2, 3, 4. But the 2 and 4 actually reverses it and puts it more into a groovy, more at ease kind of a thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So why is that? What is it that we're hearing that makes us want to dance instead of march when the accents are on 2 and 4? The answer is, typically in Western music, we like to have a little bit of drums and percussion, and the sound of a snare drum, that crack of a snare, or a hi-hat, or a tambourine, normally falls on 2 and 4. If the kick falls on 1 and 3, then the snare tambourine would be 2, 4. kick, ta, kick, ta, kick, ta. Whatever your ta is, the kick drum would precede that, follow up. So boom, ta, boom, ta, boom, ta, boom, ta. Some people would call it an afterbeat, but we're all on the strong beats, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're not getting anywhere near syncopation or the weak beats. Just we're going off the leading beat, 1. We're following that up with 2, some sort of an accent. Then 3, nice solid kick beat. And then on 4, some sort of other accent going on there. That's the very simplest way of doing it. Now, there are 2 other little variations here to bring it into play. The other variation is going to be the accents and your chucks. The chucks are this. That's where we're hearing a percussive noise, but we're not actually hearing tone. We're not actually hearing notes per se. We're just hearing a thwacking noise, or a chuck, if you will. So when we're playing along like this, we can actually have our fingers on a chord. For example, maybe I'm playing a G major like I did with that opening tune. And what I can do here is I'm going to do something. I'm going to go ahead and just play a 3-1-3. I'll explain why in a second. So this is a G major chord, 3-1-3. And if my fingers are pressing down, I get tone. But as soon as I take my fingers off the fretboard, release the pressure a little bit, but leave them on the strings, it automatically mutes the string. So that's kind of cool to start with. But on top of that, when the strings have been released, the pressure off the strings has been released, and our fingers are still there, we can then strum and get our chuck sound. So out of a chord shape, we can do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way I can actually play something, and then just instead of taking my hands all the way off the dulcimer, I take them off the fretboard, but leave them on the strings, and that way I can still work my chuck magic. And the chuck magic basically is very simple. You can just do a chuck, one single chuck, you know. Or you can get a little bit of funkiness in there and create some polyrhythms, some 8ths and 16th notes to make things more interesting. It's kind of like playing drums on the steering wheel of your car when you're driving around. Your favorite songs on the radio, you know this song better than anybody else on the planet, except for the drummer. And you're playing the drums on the steering wheel. You know every single lick, every cymbal hit, every little bit. So take both hands, work your rhythm out, and then take that rhythm out of 2 hands and put it into 1 hand. So if I'm going to do something like this, on my steering wheel, on my dulcimer. Then I'm going to take that, put it into 1 hand. And then, with a pick in my hand and fingers on the strings, and then that chuck, fingers released from the fretboard, staying on the strings. So if I just heard my favorite song on the radio, I distilled the information about the drums and the rhythm from both hands, put it into 1 hand, then added a pick, got my fingers on the dulcimer, and then I'm going to relate that same rhythm, although now I can incorporate it into a piece of music. So that's step 1, is getting that chuck position where we can move our hands, play the song normally, but then also lift our fingers up and get nothing but chuck. The other thing about that is we're just lifting our fingers up here. But, and I promised you I'd tell you why I'm playing a 3-1-3 for the G major when we typically play only a 3-1-0 and leave that melody string open. Well, watch what happens if I remove my fingers from the fretboard but leave them on the strings. Since I'm not touching the open melody string, there's nothing to damp it, there's nothing to mute it, and that's why I played a 3-1-3. I wanted to close those chords up, put a finger on every string so that we could get that chuck effect. You know, if you're playing a 0-0-2 D major chord, you would never get the full chuck because you're always going to have some strings. They're going to respond to your strumming because you're not actually touching them. So this really works best if you've got all your fingers, not all your fingers, all your strings are covered. If you used all your fingers, it'd be a lot of strings on your dulcimer, right? So the other thing is that when you are playing chords, let's say, for example, you do want to use a 3-1-0, and that's exactly what I did at the beginning of this episode. Well, it worked there. How come I didn't get that melody string ringing out? If you look at my hands, you'll see that after I played the chord, I not only lifted my fingers up off of the bass string and the middle string, I also flattened my fingers out to mute the melody string as well. So that's a solution that you can use. Same thing here with the open strum. I could simply put my hand down on there. You might have seen Joni Mitchell doing things like that. She actually uses her fist, boom, puts it right on there and silences those strings. But not only are the strings silenced, you also have this rhythmic beat that comes in there, whether you do it soft, loud, aggressive, not so aggressive. Use a strum, use a couple of extra strums to fill in that gap, that silence, or that very, very quiet part where you're not strumming. So there is the folding of the fingers down to mute the strings, a left hand mute, taking your fingers off of the fretboard, leaving them on the strings, and then also flattening your fingers down across the strings to mute them that way. In the right hand, we can do a palm mute and do the exact same thing, using the heel of our hand to silence the strings. So the other thing that we're doing while we're playing is I can use the heel of my hand to start muting. And while it's not as intensely tied into your groove as a chuck is, having the mute with your right hand gives you a lot of control over what your strings are doing in terms of being wide open or being a little quieter to get those chucks happening. So that is the mystery of the chuck. It's a lot of fun. A lot of different instruments incorporate this sort of percussiveness to make their songs a bit more groovy. Hopefully you'll be able to start employing it in all different types of tunes. It's especially great for tunes where you're singing and you want to throw a little bit of extra excitement into the mix. So practice the chuck, practice on your favorite tunes, sing loud, sing proud, and have fun. And we'll see you next month. Everybody, have a great time out there. A 1, 2, 3, and... Something happened in here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's